Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Um, Maybe you can hear one of my chimes. Um, I love it. It sounds like a beautiful sound bath. I can't think of the artist's name, but his business is Hells with a Z, Bells with a Z. And it is made out of a cedar plank paddle and a nitrous tank that he has recycled. And so it makes these beautiful sounds. It sounds like a just beautiful, like a sound bath. And my father in law was a dentist, and my sister in law is a dentist. And so, in honor of them, we have this nitrous tank of a um, little sound bath. So, excuse my voice is still a little scratchy. Still getting there a little bit after having pneumonia, but just grateful. Once again, happy Friday, everyone. Gonna ring us in. Been an interesting week, lots of great things. I was blessed to teach a class on tarot um, and oracle, and it's basically a divination class. I taught a divination class on Monday, and very lucky and grateful for that. Beautiful new space here in Chattanooga called Lunar Womb. If you've not checked it out, I really encourage you to check out what's going on there. The owner has some really great things going on that not in a studio setting. It is a center, and those of us that are teaching there, we're holistic providers, and she calls us keepers, and it reminds me of the Wisdom Keepers. So I encourage you to check it out. There was a class last night that I missed. I had friends over, and that was a wonderful time. And then I'm going to a class on Sunday, and then I'll be teaching there again on the 29th, but a different type of class. I'm teaching a somatic movement class, completely different than what I taught Monday night. So, but we're still going to move within energy and chakra system. I'm going to teach a class based on the throat chakra and the sacral chakra, and using your own body as a sound vessel. So, anyway, speaking of sound vessels, and speaking of those things, if we listen to the chime coming in, I have my small chimes here that were given to me and gifted to me by one of my mentors by the name of Deb Mizra um, in New York. So I'd like to pay homage to Deb and to all of those that have come before me. And I'm going to ring us in. So let's take a minute to be grateful and call everything in. Um, so if you'd like to take a deep breath with me and then let it release. I'm going to take another big one in. Push that one out. I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to push that one out. I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to let that one fall out of my mouth. And then I'm going to ring the chimes 3 times. Okay? So I'm going to pull it in all the way up, and then I'm going to let it fall out of my mouth this time. Very gently. Call in the corners, north, south, east, and west, into a higher power. Thank you for being here with us. All right, and welcome. We've got a wild week of things that have happened on the cosmic level and on the political range across the world. So, not just what's going on here in America, but across the world, it is some really interesting stuff. Um, so, let's talk about a little bit about some of that. I will give little bits and pieces of history of things to encourage you to go follow. I am not the expert on those, but will guide you to some experts. There's a There's someone on Instagram you can follow by the name of Skeptic Pastor, that will give you some history. And then also Monte Meter, who's out of Nashville. That's Monte. And I think her last name is Maeder, something like that. You'll get there. But anyway, they are deconstructionist, evangelical. They're both Christian based. So just to have you in there to understand history of what we're dealing with when you start talking about all of this apocalyptic talk and all this coming of all this holy war and all of these things. You can be led to understand that even in the book of Revelation, that was written during the time that they were writing about what was going on at the time. And so the things that are there, and they say the mark of the beast and the numbers of all that, if you break it down, there's actually some Greek numbers and Nero that have to do with that. So look into that, look into your history, and understand that what they're calling apocalyptic times, they were writing about the time that was happening at the time. So, and that happens a lot of times. You can also look into Matthew 17. We'll skip. There are verses that have been pulled out. It'll skip from 20, I think, to 22. But you're missing like 20 and 21 there. So look into that. There are reasons why I do what I do, and I encourage you to follow other pathways and not just one. I will never shame a pathway unless I feel like it is. I'm not even really going to shame it, but I'm probably going to try to guide you into going somewhere else that's not going to shame other people into that being. So here, let's talk about that. It's really funny. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite deck today, and I have the Justice card sitting on top, which was in one of the last personal readings I did. So I left it up, and we're going to use this one kind of as our guidance, but I'm also going to flip these cards over, and we're going to put these here. So we're going to look at what justice is coming into value with us for what's coming up within this next week or so. Whether that be anything that happens on a personal level will probably transpire in a larger level out into the universe, because everything's connected to some way anyway. So we're going to use a Rider-Waite deck here, and I'm going to pull a few cards here and let's see what's going on. And then we have Chris Ann's Light Seers Tarot, and then I have an Oracle deck by Angel Skog. So let's see what's going on. Ooh, those are starting to slide. So, understanding that justice is our guide. Let's see what's going on. Sweater's bugging me, so let's fix it. All right, hi. Oh, look at this. I'm gonna pull that one. Oh, and so we have the Sun card, and it's in reverse. So this here in this, you're talking, and here, see the horse, and we're in the year of the horse. You see the sun, and the sun it has to do with this position, really has to do with good ego. Like I'm going to tell everyone to never shame your ego. Ego comes into aspects of play in so many ways. Follow the teachings of Eckhart Tolle to understand what I'm talking about in that. So here, this is ego gone awry. Things aren't going the way. This is like, ooh, something going wrong. The sun, it's like things are not shining the way we want to. So here we have this. So now, you're going to laugh. I hope you do. Look what I just pulled out. The Justice card. Oh, wow. Kind of funny. All right. So, if you've not figured it out, I do laugh a lot. I like humor. I had some friends over last night, and we literally just sat on the floor and ate and told ridiculous stories and laughed and listened to music. Some of them weren't ridiculous stories, but they turned out to be ridiculous players within our story, so we were able to laugh at them. Knight of Swords, coming in hot, folks. Information coming in. Something is coming in. Somebody is coming in and going to not putting up with any more shit anymore. Coming in, breaking up. This is communication. Something's coming in, bringing in. All right, words. Someone of a younger value, someone in play, So you probably got an uprising of a younger rising up. And then you have the Queen of Swords. Information. And she's, once again, she is going to cut through the bullshit. She's cutting with words. But she's right. She'll show you the way home and march you out the door in the most kind and loving way. And she will embrace you in the most kind and loving way. But she's still not going to put up with any shit. So here, information, words, something's coming in. I think this is funny because we had someone come out and have words and use them yesterday out in public, and then someone else came out behind them and did not realize that they had done that. So we're starting to see some things play out. It's really interesting. So here, let's do a little more shuffle. Whoop. Oh, Page of Swords. So we have a knight and a page. We're pulling all these swords of information. So page has to do with, this is new information coming in. This can be a youngerist person that can be either male or female. And this has to do with some swift form. You have this here, a swift form of information coming with the Knight of Swords. And here you have, this is a swift form of something is going to call to action within this person, is bringing a change of something. And you can see in the background there is wind blowing, and if you look real close back there, let's look, there's a storm, and those winds are that's blowing sideways. So, and look at the look on the face. So interesting. And the King of Cups. Sitting there, regal. You hear my dogs now. Someone's probably delivering something and they have to protect me. King of Cups, King of Love, King of Emotion. Heartfelt. Hold everything for you and be supportive. So now we have this information. It looks like there's something coming in that we're finally going to get held in and going to be held accountable for within love. So here, let's go from there. And I'm going to pause for just a second till my dog's quiet, if they will.